Your $1,800 monthly rent isn't throwing money away. In fact, for many, it's the smartest financial decision they can make. This is a myth perpetuated by outdated advice, and it's costing countless Americans real wealth. Imagine believing that every dollar you spend on rent vanishes, while every dollar on a mortgage builds equity. That narrative ignores a massive chunk of reality: the hidden, often underestimated costs of homeownership that can dwarf your rent payments. We're talking tens of thousands of dollars annually beyond just your mortgage. I'm going to show you the actual math that proves why renting can often leave you in a stronger financial position, especially if you're just starting out. Stick around, because the numbers will genuinely surprise you, and we'll reveal the common mistake that costs first-time buyers a fortune. Let's break down the true cost of owning a home beyond the obvious mortgage payment. Most first-time buyers only focus on principal and interest, but then come property taxes, which can easily be 1 to 3% of your home's value annually, adding hundreds, sometimes thousands, to your monthly bill. Next, homeowner's insurance. Mandatory if you have a mortgage, another few $100s a month. Then there's private mortgage insurance, or PMI, if you put down less than 20%, which can be another 0.5 to 1% of your loan amount per year. Suddenly, that $1,500 principal and interest payment balloons to $2,500 or more before you even consider maintenance. This initial shock is just the tip of the iceberg, as the ongoing expenses are where the real difference between renting and buying emerges. Now, let's talk about maintenance and repairs, the silent wealth killer for many homeowners. Experts often recommend budgeting 1% to 2% of your home's value annually for these costs. For a $350,000 home, that's $3,500 to $7,000 a year, or roughly $290 to $580 per month on average. This isn't just cosmetic stuff. It's replacing a leaky roof, fixing a broken HVAC system, or repairing a burst pipe. When you rent, your landlord handles all of this. When you own, it's all on you. A single major repair, like a new roof, can easily run $15,000 to $35,000. These aren't hypothetical. They're guaranteed expenses that will come up eventually. This financial buffer is often neglected in the rent versus buy calculation, leading to significant financial strain for new homeowners. Before you even get the keys, you're hit with closing costs, which are another major upfront expense. These are typically 2% to 6% of the loan amount. On a $350,000 home, that's $7,000 to $21,000 in fees for things like loan origination, appraisal, title insurance, and legal fees. This money is gone, not building equity, and it's a pure transaction cost. When you rent, your upfront costs are usually limited to a security deposit and the first month's rent. The sheer amount of capital required to simply acquire a home, before you even start paying down the mortgage, is a barrier and a significant financial drain that many first-time buyers underestimate, thinking their down payment is the only major hurdle. Perhaps the most overlooked factor in the rent versus buy debate is opportunity cost. This is the return you miss out on by tying up a large sum of money in a down payment and closing costs, instead of investing it elsewhere. Let's say you have $50,000 for a down payment and closing costs. If you invested that in a diversified index fund, historically averaging 8 to 10% annual returns, after 10 years, that $50,000 could grow to over $100,000. When you buy, that money is locked into your home, and while it might appreciate, its liquidity is low. The capital you deploy into homeownership has to be compared to its potential growth in other asset classes, which can paint a very different picture of wealth accumulation. This is where the renting is throwing money away narrative completely falls apart. Let's run the numbers for a hypothetical scenario. You're considering buying a $350,000 home versus renting for $1,800 a month. For buying, let's assume a 20% down payment of $70,000 plus $10,000 in closing costs, totaling $80,000 upfront. Your mortgage payment, P&I, might be $1,500. Add $400 for property taxes, $150 for insurance, and $300 for maintenance. Your total monthly homeowner cost, is $2,350. Now, compare that to $1,800 rent. That's a $550 monthly difference. Over a year, that's $6,600. But wait, that $80,000 upfront capital, if invested, could earn you $6,400 to $8,000 annually. So, your effective cost of buying is much higher than just a monthly payment difference, making renting surprisingly competitive. So, how long does it take for buying to truly become more financially advantageous than renting? This is your break-even point. It usually takes at least 5 to 7 years, often longer, for the equity you build and potential appreciation to outweigh all those upfront and ongoing costs. If you plan to move sooner than that, buying almost always results in a net loss or at best a wash. The transaction costs alone, buying and then selling, which includes realtor fees of 5 to 6% and other closing costs, can easily consume any modest gains from a short ownership period. Most people fail to factor in these selling costs when they consider their long-term housing strategy, creating a significant blind spot in their financial planning. Understanding your timeline is absolutely crucial. Beyond the pure financial numbers, renting offers an invaluable asset: flexibility. Life changes, a new job opportunity in a different city, a desire to downsize or upsize, or even just wanting a new neighborhood. As a renter, you typically sign a 12-month lease. At the end of that term, you're free to move with minimal hassle or cost. As a homeowner, selling a house is a complex, expensive, and time-consuming process. It can take months, incur thousands in realtor fees, staging costs, and repairs requested by buyers. This lack of flexibility can trap homeowners in a suboptimal situation, preventing them from seizing better opportunities or adapting to life's inevitable changes. This freedom has an intangible, yet significant financial value. Here's the powerful strategy nobody tells you. You can build substantial wealth by renting and strategically investing the money you save. Remember that $550 monthly difference from our example? If you invest that $550 every month into a low-cost index fund for 20 years, assuming a modest 7% annual return, you'd accumulate over $270,000. Add the $80,000 you save by not buying, growing at the same rate for 20 years, and that's another $310,000. Suddenly, your total wealth from renting and investing is approaching $600,000, all while enjoying the flexibility of renting. This counterintuitive approach leverages the power of compound interest, putting your money to work for you instead of it being tied up in a liquid home equity. The single biggest mistake first-time homebuyers make that quietly costs them tens of thousands, sometimes hundreds of thousands, is stretching their budget to the absolute maximum. They focus solely on getting approved for the largest loan possible, ignoring the buffer needed for all those hidden costs we discussed. What happens? They become house poor. Every unexpected repair, every rise in property taxes, every jump in insurance premiums becomes a financial crisis. This leads to credit card debt, delayed retirement savings, and immense stress. Instead of building wealth, they're constantly scrambling to maintain their home, draining their financial future. This mistake is pervasive because lenders often approve more than buyers can comfortably afford, creating a false sense of security. Of course, buying a home can absolutely be a smart financial move under the right circumstances. It generally makes sense if you plan to stay in the same home for at least 7 to 10 years, have a stable income, have saved a substantial down payment, ideally 20% or more, plus an emergency fund, and are comfortable with the responsibilities and costs of homeownership. If you view your home as a long-term investment, appreciate the stability, and are prepared for the ongoing expenses and potential market fluctuations, then buying can be a powerful wealth-building tool. However, it's crucial to enter this decision with a clear understanding of the full financial picture, not just the romanticized ideal of homeownership. The key is to be realistic about your long-term plans. So what should you do? First, calculate your true all-in cost of buying versus your current rent, including property taxes, insurance, maintenance, and opportunity cost. Use online calculators that factor in all these variables. Second, assess your timeline. If you're not absolutely sure you'll stay put for at least 7 years, renting is likely the safer bet. Third, whether you rent or buy, commit to investing the difference. If you choose to rent, set up an automatic transfer of that saved housing expense into an investment account every month. This proactive investment strategy is the real secret to building wealth, regardless of your housing choice. Don't let societal pressure dictate your financial decisions. Let the numbers guide you. The bottom line is that renting is not inherently throwing money away. For many, it's a strategic financial decision that offers flexibility and enables powerful wealth creation through investing the saved capital. The true cost of homeownership is far more complex than just a mortgage payment, and understanding these hidden expenses is critical for your financial well-being. If you're now wondering how to actually start investing that extra cash while renting, you'll definitely want to check out our video on how to start investing with just $100 a month. Don't forget to subscribe for more insights on building your financial future.